Let's give you an update now. Mother of a teenager in Citi-Bike video speaks out. The teen involved, the Citi-Bike viral video, along with his mother, spoke to News One to give their side of the story. Family's reluctance to speak out. Mary and Michael are eager to talk to Monique Judge of News One. Betty, their mother, is reluctant to let Michael speak with anyone. He's only 17 years old. He's my baby, Betty says. He's a senior in high school. He should be planning to attend his prom and looking forward to walking the stage at his graduation in a few weeks. But instead, he and his family have spent the last week and a half living in turmoil. Michael is the teen in the infamous Citi-Bike video with Sarah Jane Comrie. Again, they're reporting from News One. Now, the teen's account of the incident, Michael said after resting in Harlem for a bit, the boys continued riding into the Lower East Side of Manhattan. They grabbed frozen yogurt and then headed to the Citi-Bike docking station at First Avenue and East 30th Street near Bellevue Hospital in the Kips Bay neighborhood. They docked their bikes at 7:19 p.m. and sat there to rest. Michael insisted he and his friends never left the bikes unattended. They don't leave the bikes. Michael said all four of his friends also have the same Citi-Bike reduced fare membership. So they docked the bikes to stop the timers from going over 45 minutes. Four of the boys were sitting on their bikes as they rested, but Michael was standing next to his with his hands on the handlebars. They were there for a few minutes when he said Sarah Jane Comrie approached their group. She initially asked one of Michael's friends if she could take the bike he was resting on. He politely declined, informing her that they were going to be leaving shortly and using the bikes again. She next approached a different boy in the group and asked him the same thing. That boy also politely declined. Michael was still standing near his bike with his hands on the handlebars. According to Michael, Sarah Jane Comrie asked him, "Can I please have this bike?" Michael said he declined. "No, I'm about to take it back out," he told her. Michael said Sarah Jane Comrie then said to him, "I'm pregnant. Can you help a pregnant woman out?" Michael said he then told her, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I've ridden this bike all the way from the Bronx and I need this bike to go back home." Michael says that is when Sarah Jane Comrie moved closer to him and his bike, leaned over him and scanned the QR code with her phone, even as he had his hands on the handlebars. She then pushed her way onto the bike and attempted to remove it from the docking station and take it. It was 7:24 p.m. and that is when the boys began recording. The rest of the interaction plays out in the video. Sarah Jane Comrie, dressed in scrubs, bearing the NYC Health Plus Hospital's logo, removed her work ID badge from her neck, placed it in her bag along with a brown paper bag she was holding, and began screaming for help. The boys can be heard repeatedly telling her it's not her bike. During the film part of the interaction, Michael was able to successfully push the bike back into the dock. He said he then entered the bike's number into his phone to put the reservation back on his account. Michael said when Sarah Jane Comrie noticed him doing this, she snatched his phone out of his hand, which is shown in that video. Michael's story directly contradicts the narrative that Justin Marino, the employment attorney representing Sarah Jane Comrie, gave in a statement he wrote to the New York Post. Marino originally made public redacted alleged receipts, but as of Wednesday, his apparent Twitter account posted the unredacted receipts showing Sarah Jane Comrie had rented the bike for 1 minute at 7:24. Family provided News One receipts for the Citi-Bike purchases. They show he originally rented the bike at 5:53 p.m. He returned it after his final ride at 10:12 p.m. Each of the receipts he sent for review shows him riding the bike in intervals of 45 minutes or less, redocking the bike and then taking it out again a short time later. Things turned worse for the teen once Marino put a statement out in the media. When those receipts got released, everything flipped, Michael said. People started calling me a thief, a thug, and a black man. It's definitely having an effect on me, he continued. It's just like, wow, this is crazy, Michael added. She did something wrong and she basically got rewarded for it. She's made over $100,000 on a GoFundMe. She got all the white conservatives on her side. everyone who was on my side has just kind of stayed silent. Tizzy, why wouldn't they? This is America. Look at your life, America, okay? It seems pretty clear, but there's this mountain of evidence that Black youth, Black boys, Black young men have to climb, it seems, when a certain type, persuasion points the finger. What say you?
Yeah, I've been a part of this story since the beginning. I've been talking to his sister since last week. And that is the issue. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else. I can only say myself. I made a video initially about that video, and it had nothing to do with a stolen bike. I didn't care about a stolen bike. That was not what I saw that alarmed me. What I saw that alarmed me was the response to him, her screaming help like that, and pointing out, this is dangerous. This gets young Black men killed, a la Emmett Till. Don't do this. And then receipts came and a narrative came and a press push came that vilified him. And suddenly he was a thug and he was a thief and he and his friends were intimidating a young pregnant woman. And no one bothered to talk about the fact that he was a 17-year-old high school kid who acted more like an adult in that video, in my opinion, than she did. And then, like he said, no one was sharing his story. No one was being a voice for him, it seemed. And then now we have his receipts and we have his, words about what happened. What's crazy to me is that's what we have from both sides of this. We have receipts and we have a claim of how it went down, and we have receipts and we have a claim of how it went down. One is not more or less, believable than the other. I personally see enough of his story that makes sense than I do with the other. Yet there's a whole group of people I've seen who took her word as gospel and say he is a liar automatically before they've even really reviewed anything, while she is literally paying PR firms to put out op-ed pieces. And I'm assuming she's paying them, because why else is that happening? But there was a piece in USA Today, there was an op-ed piece by a man who works and founded Proven Media Solutions, painting a picture that she has been vilified falsely, etc. And I understand that it's damage control and it's something to try and help with her appearance in the media and so forth, and to save her job. That's why she has an employment attorney. But whether on purpose or not, it makes that young man collateral damage.
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better. And that's the truth. What you just laid out are a series of facts, just the facts. Here's what we know, and here's the reaction to it. And yes, there are people who are willing to not just take her word as gospel. What makes her word more important than these young people? What makes her word gospel? Well, America teaches him, you don't matter, okay? Sometimes at all, certainly as much. And there are people who don't care about the facts you just eloquently laid out, because the facts don't help them. The facts don't matter to them. They want to be proactive and they want to rewrite history sometimes and paint a picture and fit people into a box for her. And you can figure out what that box means and supports, and a box for him. And he's already verbalized what that means for him. I don't know, as the mother of a Black child, if you can have enough talks to keep people safe. But one of the things, Tizzy, that you said that I need people to understand, it's not hyperbole. This kind of thing gets Black young men killed, okay? It did in the 50s, and it does today. And it's not a game, and it's not a PR campaign. It's actually about life and breathing, surviving.
Yeah,
I'll give you the rest.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I've seen people ask, why did those boys start recording? Because they knew that. Because they knew that behavior like that gets them killed, gets them arrested. They knew they were in danger, and they pulled out a phone and started recording to protect themselves. And then what does he see? He sees a ton of people donating thousands of dollars to her. She raised over $100,000 on a GoFundMe. Good news is, myself and others encouraged that family to post a GoFundMe. They finally did yesterday afternoon. They've raised over $50,000 so far. And I hope that continues to happen, because every interaction that I've had with them, they are sweet, kind, loving people who never even wished ill will on her. He just had worked very hard to find a bike. He had the bike, his hands were on the bike, and he needed to get home. He literally needed the bike. And then it turned into something else. What should have been a simple dispute or conversation or disagreement between two people turned into something much bigger, and then has been used to paint a picture of him as something else. And he's now has to defend himself for simply going out on a ride with his friends and wanting to get home.